For as long as I can remember, I've had a thing for the beauty of Iowa. The rolling bean fields, the harsh winters, crooked old posts with a story to tell. I realize that there's a lot of beauty around us that we take for granted. And I've noticed that a lot of Iowans take their own history for granted too. But if we don't tell these stories, who will? My name is Krystal Doolittle, and I love Iowa. I was born in Mason City into a farming family. I met my husband Eric after I graduated from college. And now we're out here in the land of windmills and cornfields, making a life for ourselves. One day this summer, we learned that Eric's grandpa had been asked about the history of a piece of land.
I'd heard of the land grant college, but never really understood it.
And I realized there was an amazing story sitting right in front of us about our family. And this made me wonder, how many other great stories are there out there? Who's going to tell them all?
Krystal, hi, how you doing?
Great, it's so good to see you
It's good to see you too. Welcome to our campus.
Oh, thank you.
When the federal government first passed the Land Grant Act, Iowa was the first state to accept the terms. And so the great idea of the land grant was, let's make it possible for these states to build a college by giving them a grant of land to get it started.
Sure.
And so that's what this was about. When you talk with people who do understand what a land grant is, they have a tendency to think that that grant of land, that gift of land that the federal government gave to the states, is the land that we're standing on right now.
But it's not.
It's not. Here in Iowa, our western part of the state had not yet been opened for settlement when the Land Grant Act was passed. And so we were able to have our land grant actually come from land that's here in the state of Iowa. And that's really something that we're very interested in, is that legacy of that land that helped to build Iowa State University.
Yeah.
After an amazing conversation with Kathy Ann, I had to meet the group that was out there doing the work for the Land Grant Legacy Project.
We realized early on you had to have a visual wow factor. We enlisted the help of our folks with the GIS department here on campus, and they took the handwritten, converted to typed data that Barry had there.
Wow.
And we used all that geocoding then to create that map. So on this particular one, we plotted it with your township and range and section numbers in the northwest quarter section, and it was first leased in 1865. So it was one of the first ones leased right after the.
Wow.
So within the first couple of years.
It's just amazing that you guys were able to find this and pull this up. We've got a few in the area of Big Wall Lake. Meeting with the group was fascinating, and it prepared me to go out and meet the Iowans who owned the land grant parcels. So I met with Regional Director Jerry Cheesick and later Ray again to head out and talk to the landowners. So we are on our way to the very first farm that was purchased to fund Iowa State University. And it might even be the first piece of land that was purchased for a land grant college in the whole country.
My grandfather bought it originally, and my dad lived here his whole life, and Frank, his brother. Yep. And then I have. And if you look out all across there, that was the original place. Mm-hmm. This is what the place used to look like.
Oh, neat.
Your set of grandparents that we're looking at would have actually lived on this farm as well then?
Yep. That was Mom painting that building at about 7 o'clock in the morning. And an airplane flew over and took a picture.
Get out!
And she didn't want that picture taken for nothing.
It really wasn't her best side project.
All right.
Notices that stuff.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, guys.
Dad had built a lean-to onto the barn.
Okay.
And it was still high enough off the ground that, you couldn't just touch it. And when we'd have bad winters and the snow would pile up, we'd climb up on the roof and slide off of there.
Oh, yeah.
into
Oh, yeah.
the snowbank. That one there, because he had built more onto it.
Gee, I can hardly imagine why your parents would be upset, Kathy, for you to climb to the peak of that and then get a running start off it. I can't imagine why.
Well, we'd use our wash machine lids, saucers.
Yeah, just to get you
Yeah.
a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
We will. I have a lot of interesting stuff on that.
Bob. I'm doing good.
Hi, I'm
Roseanne, how are you?
Krystal Doolittle.
Glad to meet you,
Nice to meet
Krystal.
you.
After they came back from Sweden, they went directly to this farm ground here. That little gray building was my playhouse.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, neat. So was it built to be a playhouse?
Yes.
So did your dad build it for you?
My
or?
dad, I'm sure, did.
To get his land, he put a patent on it.
What?
Yeah, he patented the land.
What kind of special feeling do you have when you come back to your home place like this?
It gets emotional sometimes.
It does get emotional for you?
Great again, Roseanne. It's so nice to meet you. Thanks again for coming up here, Bob. It's great to meet you too. All right. What family had the farm then? Was it your family? Or
My father had the farm, but not clear back to the very beginning.
Sure.
Yeah, and I was thinking this was the one that had the whole moral act on the first pages. So yeah, it pretty much just outlines the moral act here.
He says as shows the original land grant in explicit detail.
And you had how many kids?
4.
4. And those all 4 were at Iowa State at the same time.
Well, 3 of them. Yeah, I guess they really
No.
were. We were parents of the year down there in
77.
1977.
We met at Iowa State.
At the time, it was just wonderful for the women down there because we had 9 men to every woman that was down there. So we were dated up for 6 weeks. It was a great time.
We had to fight like mad.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. You're gonna get one more? Great, okay.
The goal of the project, I think, is just to really tell a really, really neat story that most people don't know. Connecting the land of Iowa State, but it's about connecting the people. And so it's been fun.
When I partnered with ISU, I was excited to share these family stories. But I wasn't expecting to find the deep ties many of these families have to Iowa State or to Extension and Outreach. I discovered how integral the university has been in these communities across Iowa, and it makes me wonder how many other families are out there with roots tied to a farm from Iowa State's land grant that have no idea of the farm's history. This wonderful Iowa land just waits for its history to be rediscovered and its stories to be celebrated.